So this week for Movie Club, we watched the movie Requiem for a Dream. Requiem for a Dream came out in 2000, and it's directed by Darren Aronofsky. Darren Aronofsky, if you don't know, also did The Wrestler and Black Swan like 3 years ago. He's also working on the movie Noah. Now, Requiem for a Dream stars quite a bit of people, actually. There's Jared Leto, Jennifer Connelly, Marlon Wayans, Ellen Burstyn, Christopher McDonald. There's a lot of people in this movie. But it mainly focuses around those 4 people. Now, Requiem for a Dream, just like really simple, broken down as much as I could, is pretty much about 4 parallel individuals and their addiction. And all these guys kind of focus around Jared Leto because one's his mom, one's his girlfriend, and one's his best friend. And it kind of goes through everybody in the film, and it kind of hits on each aspect of what they're all going through around the same time. Now, the opening scene of this movie is shot so well, it really shows what's going to happen in this movie. It starts off with the character Harry, played by Jared Leto, going and visit his mom Sara, played by Ellen Burstyn. He's pretty much not really going there for a social visit. He's going there to take her TV and walk it down to the local pawn shop so he can afford some heroin. Now, unfortunately, when you're watching this, you realize this isn't a one-time thing. This kind of happens all the time, and she usually bails her son out because it's her only son. She lives by herself, her husband died, and she pretty much has no one, so this is about the only visit she gets. So you got 3 people in here that are drug addicts, so you know something bad is going to happen to them. And it's Jared Leto, Marlon Wayans, and Jennifer Connelly. They're all addicted to like heroin and cocaine, pretty much. But then you got the other side with Ellen Burstyn, which is, I think, the most interesting side of this whole story because she is just like addicted to refined sugar and TV, and that's pretty much it. But one day she gets a phone call about being on TV, and one of the things she really wants to do is be on TV. She wants to be known. So like I said, she gets this offer to go on TV, and she thinks it would be great if she can go in like her old dress that she wore to her son's graduation, and she pretty much is trying to lose weight. And she pretty much has this book that says eat a half a grapefruit, eat a hard-boiled egg, and drink coffee without any sugar in it. And she does this, and she realizes she hates it. She hates every part of it. So she goes to the doctor and sees if he can do anything for her. When you see the doctor in this, you'll get so pissed because he is just a total quack. He doesn't really even look at her. He pretty much just prescribes her pills and sends her on her way. Unfortunately, these diet pills, like, they work, but they're just a terrible shortcut for her. Now, cutting to her son and his girlfriend and his best friend, they all kind of want to make it big. They want to, like, their whole plan is to get a pound of pure heroin and cut it up and sell it and make a lot of money so they can go on and live their dreams. But I gotta say, one thing I learned from Breaking Bad is you can't trust a junkie. You just can't trust a junkie. This movie kind of holds true to that because they do really good. Then, of course, something bad happens. And like any addicts do, like especially gamblers, when you win big and you keep gambling and you slowly lose, they think they gotta win it back. Same thing happens with these guys. Something bad happened, so they got to try to make all their money back. And it just kind of divides a lot of people. And the director, Darren Aronofsky, like pretty much shows that in the whole film. He has a couple scenes. One at the beginning of Jared Leto and his mom are talking on opposite sides of that door, and you can see the split in the screen where it's cut. Same thing with Jared Leto and Jennifer Connelly. They're talking in bed, but yet their characters are split because it's showing a divide in them. It's showing what they'll do to get what they want. Now, I can't really go any more into this movie without really spoiling it, but everybody in here is pretty much just trying to be loved. They just want to be loved. They just want to be heard. They just want to be known. And unfortunately, drugs fill this void. Temporarily, it fills this void for them. I mean, and you can see that because when they're taking the drugs, they show certain scenes of them. They show the drugs on the table, drugs getting used, and their pupils just dilating because that's the only thing their brain can really focus on. And then everything from then on is just sped up so fast because that's how quick it is for them. It just goes by so quick that they need to do it again and again and again to keep that high. Now, to say this movie is sad and depressing is an understatement. That's exactly what this movie is, and that's kind of what it intended to be. To tell you the truth, if they actually showed this movie in schools instead of having the DARE program, I think a lot more kids would stay off drugs because of the shit that happens to these guys. And if you watch this movie and you get to the very end, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because you get so involved with these characters and you see them all building up, and everything good is happening to them, and then something bad happens and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it hits the lowest of the low and you feel so bad for these people. And at the end, they all kind of realize that they're alone. If you haven't noticed it and you've seen it before, rewatch it. But if you're watching for the first time, just see the end and see how everybody lays in the bed. They all go in the fetal position because they all realize how alone they really are. And yeah, this is a great movie. It's one of those movies you can't really make fun of and you can't really put a lot of lighthearted stuff in it because it's just such a serious movie. But it's really good. I couldn't recommend this movie any more than I already have. I'm glad most of the movie clubbers haven't seen it, so I'm getting a kind of a fresh look of how everybody actually thinks about it. But like I said, good pick this week. I can't wait to see what we do next week, and I'll talk to you later, Movie Club. Bye.